Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle, and today I'm going to be joining another secular collab video. And the topic for this one is back to homeschool, and this is hosted by Kayla from Ode to Abode. And the topic is pretty open-ended. It could be your first day back, any curriculum holes, anything like that. So I'm really excited to see what everybody else makes a video on, and I'll link the playlist down below for you guys to follow along. But for this, I actually chose to share a new curriculum. So I've already put up my curriculum pics for 5th grade for my 10-year-old, 2nd grade for my 6.5-year-old, and preschool for my 3.5-year-old. But I came across this in the last 2 weeks. And this is a company that was being promoted in social media. And I looked into it. Again, I'm very particular about the resources I use in my homeschool. I care about, the educational background of who's writing it. I don't do a lot of unit study types things. I want to know who's writing it, knows what they're talking about, and I do prefer secular curriculum. I am a person of faith, but I prefer secular curriculum. I do have an entire video, actually 2 on those if you want to know more about it. But this is a secular, progressive, inclusive curriculum, which in itself is shockingly, amazingly. I'm like, yes, when I saw it, I was impressed. So the first thing I do when I look at most curriculums is I go to the About Me page. I learn about the company or the creators, and I was impressed with what I read. So this company is created by 2 women. One of them is more of an artsy, teaches art lessons, that type of person. The other one is more of the educator aspect of it. So they have, a Bachelor of Arts they majored in political science and American history. They have a master's degree in early elementary education. So the combination of these 2 is perfect. So you get academically accurate and inclusive material, but also with a little bit of that art flair. So I really love this. So the company is called Mint and Bloom. I will link their website down below, and I will link their YouTube video. Their YouTube channel. They only have a couple videos on their YouTube channel, but one of them is a flip through of their curriculum. So if you want to get more idea of what their curriculum is like. Also, for the month of July, everything's 50% off. So perfect time to purchase. Again, this is not sponsored. I don't do that on my channel, but I'm just letting you know this is a great deal for a great curriculum at this time. So when I looked at their website, I actually purchased a few different things. I'm going to show you the different things I purchased. But the main thing I purchased was We the People, and this is kind of a supplement to our American U.S. history unit. Now I will say this, I would not consider a full-on history curriculum. It's definitely more of a supplement, but it's little glimpses and snapshots into different movements or struggles, or the often not told stories. And I'll show you in a minute when I flip the camera around more of that. But the main spine that goes with the We the People curriculum, which I purchased for $20 right now because it's on sale, it's Rad American History A through Z. And I got this off Thrift Books for $9. It's hardback. I think new on Amazon it's only like $13, $14. So that's not bad either. So I'm going to actually flip you around and show you inside the book and show you what I chose to print and what I will be keeping just as an online document. So like I said, this is the main spine that goes with their curriculum. So it goes through A through Z, and I kind of like that. So A is for Alcatraz, B is for Black Lives Matter, etc., etc. Just going through different things. Here's the introduction. And the thing I really wanted to highlight was this part right here, that Rad American History A through Z is also biased toward the stories that don't get told, the ones many readers won't have heard of, stories of women, people of color, immigrants, indigenous people, and those whose histories aren't always seen as important or central to the American story. These are the stories and truths that many people would prefer to deny, the details that often get ignored, glossed over, sanitized, or left out, especially in history books. Here are some of the stories of police brutality, racial terrorism, discriminatory laws and policies, the repression of women, and the mass incarceration of innocent Americans. But here too are stories of triumph, resilience, resistance, creation, and hope. The history of America cannot be boiled down to one single story, told from one single perspective. It is thousands and thousands of compelling, inspiring, sometimes shocking stories told from the points of view of the diverse humans who's populated this land. Rad American History A through Z explores how we got to where we are now and what we need to know about our histories in order to create a just, sustainable future. So that right there, bam, perfect for me. I like that it's talking about the stories we don't often hear. And it tells here, it's just a glimpse into different pieces of history. So it's not chronological at all, which is fine, because again, I'm not using this necessarily as part of American history, but as our social justice unit. So once a week, we focus on specific social justice, and my plan was to just use little Justice Leader subscription box, but I'm going to actually rotate between that and this, because this is definitely talking about social justice movements. So, like I said, it goes alphabetically, and this is how the curriculum is, which I'll show you in a minute. Starts with A for Alcatraz and the Indian occupation of 1969. So this goes over Native American people occupying Alcatraz, or the Rock, the old prison island, and why they were doing it, and how the government had broken over 400 treaties with Native American tribes, and they were doing it in a protest manner. And it goes over kind of, what happened throughout it, the impact, which I think is really important, because it goes over that were they awarded this land or given back this land by the government? No, but there were still important things that happened because of this movement. I think that's essential, and what I really like about this book and the curriculum itself is it focuses on, yes, you're talking about difficult topics at points, and it tells you in the curriculum that certain topics might be more difficult, so obviously read ahead, which I appreciate that, precursor to that, but it's framing them in a way that this happened, but we can do something about it, which I think is the point of history and why we need to learn difficult, hard, multi-perspective history, is so we can look at these situations, learn from them, and do better. And a lot of the activities that is included in the curriculum, because there's the information, activities, critical thinking questions, things like that, and it goes through to really help the child kind of envision a better future, which I think is really wonderful. And one of the things I love about Little Justice Leaders is in each box, it gives you a resource card of what you can do now. It's not just learning about the difficult parts, it's learning how you play a part in that and what you can do as an individual, even as a child, to better this world, which is exactly what I think the point of teaching social justice to our kids is, to make this a better world for everyone. So that's a quick look at the book, but I'm really impressed with this book in general. So now I'm going to actually screen scroll on my computer to show you, because again, this is an online PDF curriculum, and it even tells you not to print the entirety, I think We the People's 237 pages. So what I chose to do is I just printed the activity pages out, and I saved the main, curriculum to my Samsung tablet, which I can bookmark and annotate, and that's what I put all my teacher guides on. But as you can see here, I just printed all of the activity sheets. So talking about envisioning the future, taking the experience and having the children envision a better future. So one of the activities for A for Alcatraz is to reimagine what Alcatraz could be. So the purpose of the protest is the Native Americans wanted the land to be given back to them. And they had a vision of what that land could be. And they focused on teaching about Native American culture and having schools there and all these different things, which is wonderful. So it gives the student the opportunity to envision something different for that as well. And there's multiple pages. So here's the inside of the prison that they can just draw it. What if it wasn't this? What else could it be? And I like that kind of growth mindset, looking to the future, envisioning a better future. And one of the activities, for example, is blackout poetry. So you take the plaque that's on Alcatraz and you black out certain words and you create a poem from that, a poem of hope. And again, it's that kind of creativity, that art, and the envisioning of the future that I really love. It also comes, of course, with coloring pages about specific people that were important to that movement. And each letter of the curriculum comes with critical thinking questions, which I'll show you in a minute. But I really do like that these activity pages are geared towards multiple ages too. So yes, my 10 and 6-year-old, and even if my 3 and a half year old wants to join us, he's welcome to. But it's activities that they both can do, and we learn about something and it kind of brings them to envision something better. What can we do to make it better? So now I'm going to show you which curriculums I chose to purchase and a preview of some of those curriculums. All right, as you can see here, we are on the Mint and Bloom Learning. So here's the store. So you can purchase the curriculum as a whole for $20, or you can purchase each individual letter. And it goes through each letter, and again, it correlates exactly with this book. So you can pick those. It goes all the way through that. It does have different options here. Freebies, I highly suggest checking out the freebies, and I'll show you some of those in a minute. But I did download a bunch of these to use. And of course, checking out the About Me section I think is really important when you're looking at curriculum as well. So all that information is on the website, and again, that will be linked below. But I'm going to show you which curriculum sets I chose to purchase. Here is the Power of the People. This is one I chose to download. And again, the only thing I printed was those activity pages. I do like that it explains how the curriculum, how to use it, how to use the lesson plans, all that. For each thing, it gives you what to read in the American history book. It gives you activity choices. It gives you links to videos to watch and discussion questions. It also gives you a breakdown of the activities if you want to dive deeper. Again, these are the activity pages. Again, they showed this on their Instagram, I believe. So I'm fine showing you what this is, how to redesign spaces. It does have vocabulary and things like that. We're just going to be doing the questions and the critical thinking orally. Further research, and then again, that coloring page. And it does, of course, have your answers and goes on like that. So the other curriculum I chose to purchase this was their Valentine's unit. So Beautiful, Wonderful Me, a self-love Valentine's Day lesson set. Again, these lesson sets I think are like $2, really cheap. But what I really like is it focuses on loving yourself. So I think on Valentine's Day, we always make Valentines and we focus on giving people other things. But I really like that this set focused on loving yourself, and it gives you activities about thinking about yourself and self-care and things like that. Thanksgiving unit I purchased. This is one I plan on utilizing during Thanksgiving. We usually spend the month of November learning about Native American cultures. So this is one of those things, I believe this is what's on their YouTube channel, and it shows how it breaks down and everything. So if you want to see more specifics of it, but it gives you a book to read, again, things to watch, discuss, and activities, and it breaks down the activities for you to do in here, which is really cool. And then it has kind of like an animal habitats and what these animals need, their food sources habitat, which I really like bringing that kind of science aspect into it. And I like how, what's wrong with this picture? This is a very typical Thanksgiving picture we've seen, and you go through, and especially learning about the true story of Thanksgiving or multiple perspectives, what's wrong with this picture, fact or fiction. So I really like that critical thinking that is involved in this. This is a freebie that we will use next year, so Pride in June. And this is a really cute activity where you get to make a toy parade, Pride Parade, and my kids are going to love this with the stuffed animals, and you get to make little banners that they get to carry. And then, of course, it gives you activities. And again, this is a free downloadable that you can do for the month of June. My kids are going to really like that. This is also another free downloadable, and for those of you homeschoolers that are all about the watercolor, pretty pictures, this has it. But it also has really good information behind it, which is so much more important. So this one is, like I said, goes through Josie dances and discussion activities, all that. You get to design some clothes. This is one I purchased. This is the Edgar Allan Poe art-based lesson set bundle. So it goes through 3 different Edgar Allan Poe poems. And I really like this for my daughter because she's very into poetry right now. And what I like is it breaks down the poetry, so you learn about it, but it has activities to go with it. So you get to make the Telltale Heart and you get to learn how Poe wrote. So that is something I plan on utilizing with my 10-year-old for sure. This is another free downloadable. So it gives you something to read, YouTube videos, discussion, and create activities. So you get to make buttons. In this one, you get to write a letter, write to your elected officials, work for change, and a coloring page. So I hope that gives you a preview of the company and the curriculum they offer, but I'm really excited to utilize these resources. And like I said, I will be using the We the People as a supplement for our social justice units, and I thought about trying to line it up with history, and it's fine. Laying it out the way it is completely fine. We're just going to go alphabetically through the book and make it less work for me. And again, because it's not necessarily tied in exactly with history, but it is tied in with our social justice, and they will overlap. For example, the first one, Alcatraz, talks about a lot of Native American experiences, which again, my kids are already exposed to. They know about boarding schools. They knew some of the difficult Trail of Tears. They know a lot about the relocation of Native Americans and the mistreatment of the United States government. So it's just adding that layer onto it, which I love, the contextual learning that they know a little bit more, but let's take it farther. So that's how we're going to use that. I'm not sure where we're going to fit in the poetry study yet, but it might be one of those things where we're utilized during summer, the Thanksgiving unit. I did also purchase the Grateful unit too, which will be also a combination. So we'll do the Thanksgiving unit and the Grateful unit during the month of November. We'll weave those into the resources I already have from last year. And then the others like Pride Month, Martin Luther King Jr., those will obviously be weaved in when it comes up in the calendar year. So if you have any specific questions about the curriculum or you want to see more, let me know. I'll be glad to share how things are going and keep you guys updated. But like I said, I highly recommend checking out this company, and they're having an awesome sale right now. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If not, thank you for watching.